So hello and welcome to Age of Mythology and Blood and Fire, the scenario I was presenting in the last video. And today we'll mainly talk about the Discord channel I made for especially this scenario. And with this I'm trying to make this into some sort of community project. But let's start with going over the updates we made since the last update. So first of all, we have finished the heroes and the elite units deployment. So if we look here, we see that each hero has some elite unit and it tells us when he deploys the elite unit instead of a normal one. So it's a level 5 setter for Hippolyta, and at level 1 the Valkyrie gets a scout instead of a raiding cavalry. But you can read up all of that in this Discord. Here we see like the Hippolyta. She is called the Barbarian Princess. Her faction are the Iron Peak Barbarians. And she deploys Iron Peak Archers, which are those Toxotes. At level 5 she deploys one husband. Here we also have the voice lines for the hero. Like if you pick her, she says let our iron hail on them, which is one of those random voice lines. She gets to speak out whenever she gets picked or levels up. Next we have some voice lines for the troops. So every third or so Toxotes will trigger a voice line. And lastly, a voice line for the elite unit. Also we see here the starting gold for this hero. And we started with 4 gold because we chose Hippolyta, which is a kind of rich starting hero. Down here we also have the hero starting quests. Some of course are starting heroes, so you don't have to do anything to be able to pick them. The Lampade we have with this cinematic sequence still. So after this tutorial sort of quest, she is able to be picked. For other heroes like the Jason, we see he's in the Cyclopean prison, and after defeating the Cyclopean guards we can jail him out and save him from his cage. And after this he will be available. Of course this is also the starting location, so Jason will always spawn here, just like Hippolyta always spawns up here in the starting area. For other heroes we have a location but no quest yet, like the Mountain Giant. He spawns surrounded by his people, by his faction, which are called, let us quickly look up, the Blood Hills Warband. He is surrounded by his Raider, Huskarls, and the Champion of the Eel, which is this Einherjar, which is the special unit he will be able to spawn. Down here we have the voice lines of course and the starting area, but no starting quest. Same for other heroes like the Frost Giant. He will be unlocked in this Frozen Palace, which is kind of void of all life. So you'll have to solve some riddles, which probably include the rune stones up here in the forest. And this will allow you to go into the palace, where you will have to solve some riddle with the with the bulls here. After that, in the throne room, you may speak to the throne head and do something with this orb. We don't know yet. It may teleport our heroes somewhere to solve the quest and finish it up. And after all of that, the Frost Giant will be available here as a hero for the players to pick. So as you see, we have some possibilities here on where to go with heroes starting quests. Also there is a question there's a question around if we want to have other quests as well, like follow-up quest or some main goal for a hero you're playing, which may give them some benefits. Of course, with some heroes it's easy, like the troll could grow another head, and the frost giant could get its horns. Yeah, so I'd really like to implement some sort of quest for such heroes. And on this we can like cooperatively discuss on what to do about that. Okay, also we have the economic explained here. As we know, there are economical units which are pop neutral. They give as much population as they take. There are gatherers, which are dwarves or villagers. There are resource holders, which increase your carry capacity as long as they are alive, and if you lose them, your carry capacity gets decreased again, which may result in you losing wood and food. There are builders and buildings, and whatever they do is written down here. And down here there's another idea about world progress and player progress. So the idea behind this is to add some age-up mechanic for this game, which is cooperatively invoked by the players together. So we start with the Age of Bandits, where our players are lowlives which murder and steal, and they kind of go around and start pillaging villages, which gives them age-up points. And if they got enough of those, and they may be able to build a market, and thus join the Age of Smugglers, where the black markets thrive. Later they get to the Age of Warlords, which enables them to build hill forts. And in the end there's the Age of Blood and Fire, which is whenever they take down a city, the Age of Blood and Fire gets invoked, which means the cities are falling and the end of civilization is near. So that's what our players are building up to. Here we have the general mechanics explained about the hero states, the army mechanics, and some numbers which are too boring to read out, like how much pop cap a hero starts with, which results in how much population, how much military he can deploy. Then the pop cost of army, which is basically 1 for most cases, except the Raven costs 0 population, and the Huskarls, raiding cavalry, and the Prodromos cost 2. So when your hero levels up, he gets +1 pop cap, and on units which costs 2, it means that he has to level up twice to be able to deploy 1 more military unit. Down here we have the hero interactions, campfires, the recruitment of civil units and builders, the recruitments of troops, leveling up, returning to the hero pools, and the relics, which are a great question. So the relic mechanic is an interesting mechanic in the game. It allows us to pick up these relics, and carry them off somewhere else where they can be used up. They can like disappear and give you something for it. And with about half of our heroes being able to pick up relics, I'd really like to add this as a mechanic to the game. Of course, there is the use of relics as keys for gates also, which I wouldn't like that much. Yeah, so I prefer to find some sort of idea which is like a general use of relics. Maybe they could be tied to the age up points or whatever. So you kind of gather all the relics in the game and bring them somewhere for some sort of benefit. Yeah, here we have the heroes, of course. Down here we have cities and other great powers. So there are 2 for now. The Nordic Industrial City, which is this main city, and a city, of course, our players won't be able to enter it, and it deploys some units which are hostile to our players, some guards guarding the roads and trying to defend the villages, and punishing, well, punishing players for destroying the villages. And next we have this big city, which also, well, it got a portal and also will be able to deploy some military in some sort. Here we have a siege camp, which is another quest for the heroes later. Basically, you have to be strong enough, maybe in the Age of Warlords, to access this siege camp quest. And then you'll be tasked with defending the siege camp against a counterattack from the city, and then you'll get units temporarily for, or probably region locked, to attack the city. And if you defeat it, or if you lose all your guys, this quest is over. And at the end of it, either the city has fallen and you have access to this portal and another area, or the city survived and you'll have to come back here when you're strong enough to take it. Yeah, there are villages affiliated with some of the great powers, like those villages belong to this industrial north city, which means by pillaging them in the starting area you'll already make a foe. Down here we have some friendly bandits, which are the bandit camps you can get to, and at the end we have some hostile spawns, which work basically like Diablo. It is inspired by the Children of Memory scenario. It means after a while some hostile creeps are respawned in this area, and you have to be careful with your economical units, especially the ox cart. Or it also means you can come back with your hero here and get some more experience points by cleaning this area again. Down here we have some quest characters. So this red-haired lady in the lava pool, you're probably able to speak to before going through this gate. Or maybe you have to bring her something before she allows you to go through here. And yeah, so we can start talking about that. So basically I'd love to hear your guys' ideas and opinions, suggestions and discussions on where to go with this scenario. And maybe you could, if you're interested, then you could write some narratives for the world, make up factions. Well, the most important thing for a faction is probably the unit composition it has access to, which kind of tells you that it's part of this faction and not any other. So yeah, we can make up factions, quests, stories, places to build, and I invite you to participate in the making of the scenario, and I'll leave the Discord link in the description. So thank you all, and hopefully see you there.